Salutations, sleuths. I'm Gina.
I'm Maria.
And we are
Fortuitous. Boom! I have 5 on my list.
Of icks and cringe things? Or
Yeah. Cringe, icks, and
I feel good.
No Judgies but Judgies. So how much do you have?
I have like 14. I feel a lot better about myself. I thought that I was like on the low end. I was like, Maria's gonna be pissed. I don't have anything.
You find a lot of things icky.
Well, the thing is, some of these kind of go into each other a little bit, I think. And it's not, I don't think, it's not that bad.
And that's where it's like, I know, I feel like I got down like a very specific road or tunnel with mine.
Yeah, I was trying to, because there was some that I had on here and then I ended up getting rid of because I was realizing that they were kind of falling into the same theme. And I was like, well, I don't want to be a one-track,
One-track to cleanliness.
That's what every single thing is.
I know. I was like, I bet you I would put money on there. Something about something dirty.
You know what sucks? I can't even do it anymore because the bit's already ruined. The very first one on here was dirty roommates. And that was just going to be the joke. Damn it.
As for those who have not listened, check out Weird Roommates and then you'll get it. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I have to do connections to past lives.
Yeah, so
that was like one of the first things I thought of.
That was the first thing I thought you would put on your list. Something about dirty. It's literally an ick.
I mean, it's not wrong.
But so, quick business. Gina has her wedding coming up. So, for the next foreseeable future, it will either be myself or guest. And our first guest in Gina's absence is James. And we've had James on before. Woo! Again, weird roommates.
The crowd goes mild.
The crowd disappears. Yeah, by the way, did you... Because we were joking, like, oh, what do you want to talk about? And James immediately was like, porno. And I was like, shall we do movies? That could be titled, that could also be named as pornos. Did you think of any? Or like movies that could double as porn titles?
I made a list for that too.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I like so the first one that I said was Despicable Me. And so I was on the shitter whenever we were talking about this. And I was like, what would be a good one? And that came up to me because I had an ad on TikTok about, I guess there's like a new one coming out. And your response to it was so good. I was like, you know what? I think I could do this. This is really...
I was like, you know what? You could actually make a list of that real quick. Because like my first one that I said was Fast and Furious. Mm-hmm. So I was like...
Did you write more down?
I did write more down.
Okay. How many's in that list?
8 more.
Okay.
What else do you have?
I have... This is not in any particular order. Mm-hmm. I have Happy Death Day.
Okay.
A little bit of a morbid twist, but Toy Story.
Oh, I have that one. Yeah.
So I was really proud of myself.
Classic. Yep.
But I was like, I feel like most people could probably think about that, but it's a good one.
Yep.
Parasite. Do you know that movie? It's now gaining traction, but it's been out for a little while. But a little gross one, but Parasite.
Yeah.
I liked this one. Get Out.
Nice. Just get out.
Yeah. Get out. A classic, Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it essentially was one.
Yeah. 10 Things I Hate About You. It's more of like a scolding sex.
Whatever you're into.
So, some people like that. That could be some like dominatrix type shit.
Yeah. 10 Things I Hate About You and have fun with it.
Yeah. Easy A.
Okay.
Yeah. Performance based.
Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah. Clueless.
Nice. First timers, both sides.
I guess I could skip down to this other one because the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
That essentially was, yeah.
Daddy Daycare.
Oh, that gets kind of...
I know. I wrote it down, and I did consider the pedophilic route.
I was going to say, yeah, that's kind of pedo.
But then I focused on the daddy part, and I was like...
Role play.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Let's retract that one.
Scratch it from the list.
Oh, Inside Out.
Ooh, that's gross.
Super bad. Okay, this one I don't know if this is actually a movie title. Flick It?
I've never heard of it.
So I know that there is Stick It, which is a gymnastics movie.
Which could be one.
There is Dance Flick, which is like a parody on dance movies. And then isn't there, is it called Click It? With Adam Sandler, he's got that remote.
Oh.
Right?
I know which one you're talking about. I don't know what it's called. Maybe Click It.
So I don't know what Flick It is, but I think...
a parody on Click It.
It might be. I'm pretty sure that's a movie. So I put it in there. Flick It.
That's aggressive.
And then the last one I have is James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, fitting.
Yeah. I figured that'd be a good one.
I love it. Mine is 12 Angry Men.
Okay. I saw that too. I was like, that could be a good one. I was thinking about like, how many dwarves did Snow White have?
12.
Perfect.
There you go. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Rocky. That was bold to take a drink before naming off any of these. Tremors.
Oh gosh, okay.
The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
There Will Be Blood.
Ooh, that's a little scary.
Yeah. And then 300.
Yeah, okay. Orgy style. I love it. Orgy party.
Extreme.
Yeah.
That's like a whole city.
That's There Will Be Blood with 300.
With 300.
For sure. Without a doubt.
That was like, what's that one show with the superheroes? The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of did a There Will Be Blood 300-esque scene.
I haven't seen that show, but I've heard that it's pretty intense. Mm-hmm. Like, in almost any way you could think about it.
Intense in all shapes, ways, forms, yeah. And I like the first season, but I...
Oh, so you've watched the whole thing?
I couldn't get through the latest season. It was just like too much, and each character had their very own like drama and that I didn't care about, and it's like they ran out of storylines, so then they're creating these stories that no one gives a shit.
Isn't it only 2 seasons so far?
No, I think they're on their 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still, that's kind of early.
Yeah. And then, they just had to make like, like a character gay. He was like not gay the whole time, and then all of a sudden now he is. And it's like, all right, trying too hard to be inclusive. So I just stopped watching it. But that's not what this episode is about. We are talking about...
We're going to break down every single episode of The Boys. Get ready!
It could be like an ick.
Yeah.
So we're talking about things that are either like cringy or ick, depending what generation you are, what word you use. I thought of it as like no judgies, but judgies. Because I think in general, I'm just going to preface it with, I try not to be very judgmental. I mean, I'm only human, so like I do. But I do make a conscious effort as to like not judge someone or something, because it's like, I don't know their life. I'm not in their shoes. It's their life. Yeah. It's not affecting me, so why should I fucking care?
I'm going to validate the other side and say, lean into it. Perfect. Fucking judge the shit out of everybody. Like
balance.
Yeah. Sure, don't unnecessarily just sit there and, shit on people. But I kind of feel like you'll go insane if you try to, be the peacemaker. And yeah, you have to be able to alleviate some of that frustration in daily life. And I think part of that is kind of being an asshole and judging people for being stupid and living their own lives, whether they're innocently doing it or not. Sorry, you're just, at the expense of my hate.
Life is short, judge.
Right, yeah.
Well, I know it's like an innate thing, and that's what kept humans safe, like way back when.
Yeah.
You had to judge to see if there would be collateral damage, or like it just kept you alive, and like could you fight that person off for food? Mm-hmm. And we've evolved to where supposedly have evolved to where, we're not really necessarily like hunting and fighting for food. We have grocery stores now, but so it is very natural for people to judge.
Yeah.
But I think it has gotten very easy for people to your point, just
kind of
judge.
run away with it.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
And I think they've had a list out of like icks. They posted on social media, like a girl posted like a list of icks, like that guys do. And that was fucking extreme. That was like way too much. Like
how long was that list?
There was like over 100 things on there of just what guys do considered an ick. Like
sounds kind of short.
Only 100?
I mean, I'm just saying from experience, like.
I think it would depend on the guy. I think
Yeah.
with some guys that I could think of, I think I could probably come up with 100.
That person that was probably like nitpicking on purpose to just get as much as they possibly could out of that.
Well, I think it was also like I think a compilation list of like what random girls on the internet were saying was like an ick.
Yeah.
Like for example, it was like wearing like whitey tighties instead of like boxers was considered like an ick. What happened to old-fashioned whitey and tighties? Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
sure.
To each their own. Pop off, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was like stupid little things like that. But like some of them were like serious, some weren't.
Did you read all of them?
No.
Oh.
No, and that was like it was also like a while ago.
Anything that you can, well, aside from the whitey tighties, anything stick out to you that you were like, yeah, I fucking agree with this?
No, I don't remember off the top of my head. I have a couple on my list that are, I guess, like dating-esque or like partner-esque.
Okay.
But yeah, so that would be the episode. It would be no judgies but judgies. Because like with literally everything, there are exceptions.
Yeah.
And depending on the time of the month for me, then I hardcore judge. Like, fuck it, judge.
Wait, do you mean your time, like, do you mean like your time of the month is when you're more judgy? Is that
it's the week leading up to it.
Okay.
That week leading up to it, I'm like, come at me so I can choose violence, please.
Yeah.
I hate everything and everyone. I have zero tolerance for any type of bullshit.
Yeah.
My patience threshold is non-existent, and I will judge the shit out of you. So if I am really mean that week, just know it is not me. It is Monster Maria.
But I feel like it goes beyond like, okay, you just like casual icks. It's like, no, fuck all of you. Get out of my way.
It is. It's like, everyone leave me the fuck alone.
You turn into a whole different person.
I do.
Monster Maria.
Yeah, she's ugly.
Very icky.
She is, yeah. All right, so you want to start or you want me to start? You have more, so you probably go first.
And I mean, I don't have to go through all of them. But I don't know. I don't have like a particular order, so I don't know which one I should even start with. Let me say, okay. So this kind of builds off into the very first one that I was going to make a joke about with the dirty roommates thing. Which, by the way, go listen to that episode.
I think it was like 32 or something like that. It's called Weird Roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check it out.
It was the intentions were to be, I guess, a little bit more broad.
Diverse.
I clearly had something that was just pissing me off. So one of my first ones was people who don't wash their hands in the bathroom. Huge ick for me.
That is a little ick, yeah.
And I mean, I work in the medical field now, so it's like I'm in a hospital and I see that all the time. People that don't wash their hands. And
of like people that work there or
both.
People that visit? Oh,
both. And it's disgusting.
That's disturbing.
Yeah. And it's just like, it is. You're right. It's very disturbing. And it's also just an ick. Because, if you're in the comfort of your own home, sure. That's off. One thing, I guess, because you're just, touching your own environment.
Yeah.
But when you're going to be moving and grooving within the public space, that's a whole different ball field. And what's crazy to me is that today actually just happened. They're so ballsy. I don't know how the girls are in the bathrooms. I don't know if you've witnessed, but like just today, I was washing my hands and some guy, he was over at the urinal, doing his thing. And he like gets behind me, stops, looks at the sink, and then just walks out.
So he just decided, should I? Nah.
Pretty much. And I would love to have the the balls in a sense to just call people out.
You're like, hey.
But I'm afraid to be touched by them. Because their hands are all icky. Yeah. I mean, a little bit. And it's just, at the end of the day, too, it's like, is it really worth the fight? Because, like, are they going to come back and wash their hands? Probably not. Probably not.
I think if you called some people out, that they probably would. And I've heard people made the argument, especially, like, with dudes. It's like, well, you know, I only touched my dick. And then, you know, then I walked out. It's like, yes, okay, but... Because they're saying that, like, their dick isn't dirty. Which some could be, some couldn't be. Like, if you just showered, I get it. But you have touched things all throughout the day. You've touched the bathroom, the doorknob to get into the bathroom. And then with your dirty hands, you did touch your dick. Clean or dirty doesn't matter.
Right.
And then you walk out and you touch a doorknob. Now your dick is dirty.
Yeah.
Because you just touched it with already dirty hands.
And I don't, to even piggyback off of that, I don't even touch the door handles whenever I leave a bathroom. I make sure I have like a paper towel or something. I'll just pull it open like that because I have seen numerous people not wash their hands.
I have actually seen it from the women's bathroom also, and that's disgusting. I saw a really gross fact the other day where it was talking about how the grocery cart handles are actually dirtier and have more fecal matter on them than a public restroom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So now,
I don't like that.
so I literally saw it, and then I went to the grocery store, and I'm literally like touching my grocery cart handle like with just 2 fingers, because some don't have the Sandy wipes.
Yeah.
They did, like, you know, around COVID time, but some got rid of them, and so I'm like barely touching it, and then I don't want to touch my groceries that are going to be in my house because all the transmission.
Yeah.
And so I need to just take my own Sandy wipes. I'm going to become like that crazy hand sanitizer lady after like seeing all these like facts. Ignorance really is bliss. Like
I was just telling my friend that the other day that I forgot what. So at the grocery store, this is a side tangent a little bit. I'll make it quick.
Go for it.
So at the grocery store, I was there last night, I think. And so we're sitting in my car, we're about to leave, and then some lady, she's putting the groceries in her car, and she just like the cart, you know, she loses control of the cart. Well, actually, she's not even paying attention to it, and it just like drifts away, rams into the car that's like a couple spots down to her.
Oh no.
And she looks at it, and then she kind of surveys the scene, sees around. She makes eye contact with us, and then just moves the cart back right to her spot, and like, you know, goes on with her merry way. Which, like, I mean, what normal person? I would say the vast majority of people aren't gonna be like, oh, you saw that? I'm gonna write down my information. You see this?
I put my insurance there.
Yeah. And then I guess this is kind of can lead into another ick, is because it's like a courtesy thing where she does all that, gets back into her car. She left the cart next to her car, and I thought, oh, maybe she's just going to close her door first, put the cart back. Homegirl just drives off.
Leaves the cart.
Yeah.
Worst fucking people ever.
That stuff pisses me off because it's, you know, a test of, what is it?
Oh, Gina and I talk about this in another episode. It's like a morality test.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if you return a grocery cart or not, because there is no like, you don't get any value or anything from it from returning it.
Yeah.
You're just a decent human being if you do. So if you don't, you fucking suck as a person.
Yeah.
And the only exception is like Aldi. So like with Aldi, you have to return your grocery cart to get your quarterback. Yeah. But that's because you're getting something out of it. Returning a grocery cart just because is just doing the right thing. So yeah, it's like one of those morality or decency human tests.
What's insane is that the cart corral was just on the other side of the car that she just hit. So it's like triple whammy, if you will.
Yeah.
And that was one of the comments that I made, like, as we were driving back. I was like, I wish I could just live in such ignorance to where I wouldn't, you know, think twice about doing something like that, where I can just, you know, blissfully live throughout my life and not have a care about doing dumb shit like that clearly would affect other people. Like, it is such a burden to be
so nice.
Well, not that. And I'm such a little angel. No, to just like have self-awareness and the decency to like not be a fucking piece of shit. Like, it sucks.
No,
As we talk about things that piss us off.
Yeah, I would rather And that's where, like, you know, how much of other people's actions do you let it affect you? Like, it's really stupid to get angry that someone else does, you know, it's not in your control. But yeah, I mean, to your point, I think I would rather get angry about that stuff than be one of those shitheads.
Oh, no, yeah, I wouldn't want to be that person, but just for like a day, it'd be kind of nice to just kind of, you know, derp around. And just do derpy things and not have to worry about it.
And not care.
Yeah.
But then are they, like, any happier because of it? Or are they, like, still just as miserable?
Because
I feel like there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, probably neither. I think they're just still kind of existing just neutrally. Yeah. You know, there's no gain, there's no loss. They're just kind of there. Yeah. They're just an amoeba of life.
Just unbothered.
Sounds nice. Yeah.
All right. I will go with one. And this one is wedding related. It's the wedding cake face plant. Okay. When the groom will, like, shove the bride's face or their partner's face, you know, if it's man, woman, shoving your partner's face into the cake. First of all, that cake probably is super expensive. If you're in America, all the wedding business is a scam.
Yeah.
And it's just overpriced and it's stupid. So that cake was expensive. The hair and makeup were expensive. The dress was expensive. Also, how fucking old are you to, like, shove someone's face into a cake?
Yeah, it's a humiliating thing.
It's humiliating. Yeah. It's embarrassing.
It's someone's big day, and you're going to embarrass someone like that in front of all their friends and family. Their closest people.
Yeah, all the people that love them. And you're going to, because, like, what are they going to do? Right. Immediately after, what, go and, like, wash it off? And you still, but then you're washing off the makeup. You have the stuff on the dress. And
there's probably not a specific video that you have in mind, but I'm sure you've seen the videos that have, for a little while, I would say maybe earlier in the year, it was kind of floating around of that stuff where people were shoving cake. Typically, the guy was shoving the cake into the girl's face. But I think with the aggression at which they do it too is kind of alarming.
That's concerning, because it's hard. Yeah. Like, almost the whole cake is destroyed.
You, like, bruise the fuck out of their face from it too. Yeah, that is definitely an ick because it just shows your lack of maturity.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, of course, have fun. You know, this is supposed to be a lighthearted, very loving moment.
Right.
But there's different ways to go about it. And, buddy boy, you're an adult. You should be able to
act like an adult. Yeah. Like, put a little icing on her nose. Just a little dab, you know. Yeah. Cutesy. Gay, but cutesy.
Yeah, there's definitely... It's not June anymore. You can say that, I guess.
Or is it encouraging June, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I like that one, though. That's valid. I agree with that. Okay. These next few that I have kind of go into social media a little bit.
Okay. I have social media one, too.
And do you want me to, like, rapid fire? There's only, like, 3. So the first one I said was, I'm not really active on Facebook, but do you go on Facebook enough to, like, see posts?
Yeah.
So I've been seeing these a lot more recently, and I think now it's because I just go into the comments and get a laugh. But there are these AI generated photos, or typically, they are cartoons, they're AI generated. Mm-hmm. And it's usually like some patriotic nationalist vibe where, you know, the soldiers going off to war and it just looks terrible. And then the caption says, usually it says, like, I bet this won't get any likes, some pandering bullshit like that. And then the comments are these typically old people, and they're just like, amen, brother, I love this. Yes, you're so right. When, like, the fucking soldier has 4 right arms, and
because it's AI generated.
Yeah, it's so, like, evidently AI generated.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, because, you know, there's bot accounts, so I always struggle with the idea of, like, are these all bot accounts for
commenting
engagement
on AI,
or is it actually stupid people that think this is legit? It's probably both, but it gives me such an ick. I do it now to laugh because I'm like, I can't believe they're this dumb. But it's just so many. It's like, I think it's the same account that I see typically. But yeah, have you seen any of those before?
Oh yeah. I mean, and I think your ick is just like in general boomers posting stuff.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like, you know, it will post something religious or political, and yeah, it will be like, I bet you this gets none, or like, you're not religious if you don't share.
It's like so woe is me coded, and it's like, shut up.
You're not my friend if you don't share this. Yeah. And yeah, it's a generational thing. And
I hate how much engagement it gets though. I understand that there's a good portion that's probably not real, but the fact that there's even one person that's real that is believing this shit, it goes back to that blissful ignorance. Just saying, might be nice to do it for a day. Going into TikTok now, where
do you have one for like Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, like each their own thing?
No, I don't have one for Instagram. I'm sure I could probably think of one eventually, but for TikTok I have thirst traps, which is just, you know, since the dawn of time. But then also on like, do you watch people's lives ever on TikTok? No. Okay.
Nope.
So it's kind of, funny enough, becoming a thing with influencers that were big back on like Vine and stuff like that, and YouTube back in the, you know, the heyday of it all. They are on TikTok Live begging for gifts. So like if people send you a gift on there, it costs real money to send some, like if you're on TikTok, no, if I'm on TikTok Live and you're watching me and I'm like, give me a gift, you send me a gift, it costs you real money and I get to keep some of that. So I don't know the actual numbers, but let's just say a big common thing that people ask for is this thing called like a galaxy. So you send them a galaxy and the screen, all that happens is like the screen that they are on has this little motion
galaxy thing
image. Yeah. And it's for like 5 seconds. I want to say it costs them around like $60.
$60 to send a gift?
Oh, it's stupid. Even like the cheapest thing I think cost at least a few bucks. It's dumb. It is trivial, stupid shit.
But why would people send money for nothing?
That's why this is an ick. Because I'm like, first of all, you're getting scammed, and then you're just allowing to feed into this person begging for some arbitrary thing. And so what ends up happening too is that the creator on the live, they get to keep half of whatever that thing costs.
Yeah.
And TikTok takes the rest. But it's just so cringe to see these washed up influencers and, you know, internet celebrities that are just sitting here panhandling for some fucking animation.
Panhandling. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's instead of like out on the street, you're just on TikTok Live.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, you're in like your eeny teeny tiny bikini when you're getting it from, you know.
And it still works. Being that little itsy bitsy thingy.
Yeah. I mean, sex sells. Oh, that's really... Ooh, I don't like that.
I don't really watch lives anymore. I would only do it just if I was bored, which isn't that what TikTok is anyway. You just scroll because you're bored.
Do scroll, yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of them are just like that. And it's even, you know, now there's a whole new era of these influencers that are just sitting on there. There was that AI trend that kind of went around where you would send them a certain gift and they would just respond in like an AI way. So like you would send like a hot dog and they'd go, ooh, a glizzy. Like,
oh my God.
or like someone would send a spaceship and they'd say, whoa, you're sending me to another galaxy. And they'd jump off the screen and then come back on the other side. And it's honestly insane the amount of people that send gifts. It's like if you can perfect it and get people wrapped in, you're good. So I see why they do it, but it's just like insane.
It's ick on both sides. Like the people that will like spend their money on that. If you have stupid money, spend it on whatever you want. Yeah. But if you're the same people that are struggling to buy groceries or daycare or whatever, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. Well, you know, I guess we are judging people on this episode.
Yeah.
But like you can click into their profile, and if they have like a picture of themselves, you can kind of be like, yeah, you look like you may need the money and that you're probably not too rainbow bright up here. So those two wrongs are really not making it right.
Judging hard.
Yeah.
Getting mean with it.
I just, well, and it's sad because essentially those people are preying on. Now, I'm sure most of these people aren't maliciously being like, give me your fucking money.
It sounds malicious to me. It sounds like taking advantage of people, and it sounds like they don't have any skill set or knowledge to apply to like a real fucking job and contribute to society. And instead of like being on the corner of a street asking for money, they're doing it on TikTok.
Yeah.
They're same, essentially.
Yeah. I would, yes. I think it reaches a point where you're obviously aware that it works, and
so then you do take advantage of it. People are going to do it. It's an easy way to make money. So like I do see that side of it, but like also that's just like a really shitty thing to do.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely takes no effort. You're just sitting there.
You're just there.
They just sit there for hours and will say, all right, guys, like you can set goals now too. That's kind of been a thing, but you can set goals and they'll say, all right, I'll follow whoever sends me 10 galaxies or some stupid shit. It's pretty twisted, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, like I would consider doing something like that, like if I was raising money for charity.
Which I'm sure that happens.
I'm sure but
not enough though. It's mostly just icky people doing icky things.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing that I had, I think, kind of similar to that was, I guess you could maybe say this is YouTube related. At least for a while it was. People who film and upload themselves crying.
Oh, that's on anything. That's on Instagram.
I think that's where it started though, was YouTube. People do like apology videos.
Like I understand like if you're making a video and then all of a sudden you get choked up and then you start crying, you still make the conscious effort to upload that though. But the ones who are already crying or just turn it on to get a video of them crying, I do hate that so much. It's like, all right, well, how sad can you really be if you were recording it?
Right.
And then putting it on social media.
Yeah. There are so many conscious steps within that whole thing where it's like, yeah, you are coming on to film yourself and you know that you're going to get yourself worked up for just the attention-seeking aspect. Then you do it, you turn on the waterworks, then you watch it back.
And then you post it. Dude, no one wants to see your rock bottom basement.
Yeah.
No one wants to see it. I'm sure I guess some people do. People like to see other people like suffer, and people like feel better about themselves when other people are down. That's a whole ick in itself. But yeah, anytime like I'm scrolling and I see just like a teary face, it's nope, you're not getting a second of my view.
Yeah, or just like the clip. I mean, now this is kind of focusing on YouTube, like the clip grabby, like the thumbnails, where they'll also be crying in it. And they'll just emphasize like the emotional aspect in it, which like, yeah, that's how you get views. That's just how it works. But being someone that like is purposely doing it, that's embarrassing. It
is embarrassing. I get secondhand embarrassment. I'm embarrassed for them.
Yeah.
I think
like you should be crying because this is pathetic.
This is pathetic. I think like all of like social media, how it is now, could be considered icky and cringe.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, just like the validation that people seek from it, and just like how absorbed that they are in social media, and how they're so more focused on the likes than they are with like real human interactions. And like the parents that use their kids to make money off of it, like that blows my mind. You're putting your kid's face and everything out there that eventually makes its way to the dark web, and goodness knows what people are doing with that.
Yeah.
So you're making yourself a target. Yeah. And just like you're profiting off of like your child. There's a whole lot of layers with that.
Question: do you know they're big on TikTok? That's where they started. The Costco guys.
No.
Oh, okay. Because now there's kind of some controversy. It's this dad, his son, and they kind of do the same shit. And they're just pretty much saying, we're Costco guys. They started off by saying, we're Costco guys. You know, we like the chicken bake and the double chocolate cookie, and they fucking eat it, and they're inside Costco. I don't know. And I just know the surface of their existence.
The things that go viral make no fucking sense to me. I don't get it. It's like the more stupid it is, the more viral it becomes. And what does that say about us as a society? Everything.
It's just proving that we're stupid.
Yeah.
Which I feel like people kind of knew that going into it. But yeah, it definitely, the floodgates have opened up in the early 2000s, and it's a massacre now. And now there's just controversy, though, about that dad and son, where there was like a behind the scenes thing that got uploaded, and I don't know if the dad knew that it got uploaded. And he was kind of scrutinizing the son a little bit for messing up the lines, and he wanted it to be so like cookie cutter, and very rigid, and like, sure, you're doing a performance, but yeah, it's like you're using your child as a product, and it eventually becomes very twisted, the fact that you're doing that.
Oh, it's 100% twisted. Yeah, I mean, I think we could go on forever on social media stuff, because I mean, I just think it's like all cringe. I miss it when it was like just pure and innocent, like you connect with friends, you connect with people that you were friends with from like forever ago, and then it's kind of fun to see what people are doing in their own lives. But now people have just become so obsessed. I'm not saying all, but the people that are so obsessed with just doing events for the aesthetics and the pictures, doing it for the gram. Like, I hate that. Like, you know, throw this like elaborate 1-year-old birthday party and going all out just for like the pictures, mostly for the pictures, and not necessarily like the child or like, you know,
the experience itself.
Yeah. It's just, I don't like it. For me, it's icky for me.
Yeah.
Speaking of like babies and stuff, elaborate gender reveal parties is on my list.
Okay. I feel like I get where you're coming from, but I need you to explain.
Yeah. So like the ones where you like cut into like a cake, or you know, the very small cutesy ones, fine.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I'm talking like the ones that were like, I wrote down examples. There was this couple that they rented out the tallest skyscraper in Dubai and had a blue light show to show that they were having a son.
Jeez, okay.
So that's a little fucking extra.
Just a bit.
There is a video out there, I think it's got over 12 million views, of an alligator biting into a watermelon so it would like squirt out, you know, a certain color jello. I think it was blue jello or jelly that it squirted out.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck thought of that? Like, who is
Probably some hillbillies.
Someone in Florida. Where there are,
of course it's Florida. Why wouldn't it be?
Where there are alligators. If you haven't listened to the last episode, Florida Woman, check it out. It's probably one of those.
I love that.
And then there's a gender reveal party that actually caused an earthquake because the parents detonated 80 pounds of tannerite, which is like this explosive that's used for like long range target shooting practice.
Yeah.
So they shoot at it to reveal, I guess, like blue smoke, and it caused an earthquake that caused like property damage, structure damage. 80 pounds. 80 fucking pounds. I feel like half a pound would be like sufficient.
See, now I would need to know a gauge of like what is the normal amount to be able to. Now, don't get me wrong. 80 pounds.
80 pounds of anything is excessive.
Yes.
80 pounds of watermelon. 80 pounds.
The fact that it caused damage, clearly, it was way too much. Did they get sued?
I didn't go into all the details. I like looked up a list of like.
Where was this at, Florida?
I didn't write where this was at, but there is one in California, a California party. They use like some smoke generating device machine thing, and that, you know, surprise, surprise, caused a fire that ended up causing a wildfire that burned more than 13,000 acres.
Wow.
Of land, and it made 3,000 residents evacuate. How fucking pissed would you be if you had to fucking evacuate because these twat waffles decided to do this gender reveal party, and not only did they like ruin all this wildlife, they made you evacuate. Who knows how many animals died from this?
Yeah.
There is a special ring in hell for those type of people. I don't care how bad that they feel. What were you thinking
That's jail
doing
time.
that?
That needs to be jail time.
it should be. I think there are like court cases for both of these if like they didn't already get settled.
What compels someone to
go that extra
Yeah.
on a gender? What the fuck happened to just finding out when the baby was born?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just very traditional on like a lot of things, and for me, like, you know, we have kids. Vic and I have talked about it. He's also pretty traditional. Like, I am okay with finding out when the baby is born.
Yeah.
And then, like, I have a name picked out for a girl, I have a name picked out for a boy, and whatever comes. We make the nursery gender neutral. And I want to be surprised in the moment.
I mean, it's still fun. It's still exciting.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It's whatever you want it to be, clearly within. As we've learned.
This crosses the line.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
This is like... And
those are people that clearly have, like, ego issues.
Narcissists.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, it's just people being people, and they just have to ruin everything. Because I was like, okay, how did we get here? So, like, in 2008 is when it all started. Like, some blogger, I didn't put her name down because I didn't want her to get, like, a whole lot of hate, because I think she does feel really bad that she created this monster. But she just cut into, like, a cake to reveal, like, pink frosting.
Yeah.
Very cutesy. And then people... Again, social media is tied into this, had to outdo each other and go bigger, better,
Yeah.
bluer, pinker, and just so much more extra. So, like, people just, like, ruined it. And so, like, those, like, elaborate gender reveals, I will judge. The small, cutesy one, yeah, whatever.
Our baby brioche buns in the oven. Watch it burst.
Like, I've seen, like, the ones... that I've seen like TikTok also like are like it's like a Harry Potter themed, and then like they like pour like potions into a cauldron and then like the smoke comes out a certain color. Like, that's cute.
Yeah, that causes
Like,
no harm to anybody.
No harm to anyone. It's when you cause harm to someone or something that's when it crosses the line.
And what would be really shitty is, I mean, this is, you know, kind of grasping at straws a little bit here, but it's like, I wonder if those people, any of them, even considered the repercussions of their reveal. Like,
Oh, 100%.
what could
not.
possibly go wrong, you know?
Oh, 100% not.
Yeah.
And if they did consider and they still went with it, then
It's probably worse, honestly.
straight to hell. Oh, and then did you see that one gender reveal? This wasn't even like damaging to property or elaborate or anything like that. So it's like this couple and they like throw a baseball and the guy hits it and it bursts and it's blue.
Mm-hmm.
The woman, the mom, runs to her husband. He runs straight to the boys.
Yeah.
And is partying with the boys, and the woman, she's trying to break into the group and they're not letting her. They're just all jumping around. Dude.
Yes. I have not seen the original, but I've seen there's
The parodies.
There's this one couple that I see, they specifically make parodies about that kind of stuff. I saw the parody. I couldn't find the original. I don't know how it's that hard, but yes. Yeah.
That is just emotional damage.
That's demoralizing.
I'd be like, we're done.
Yeah.
You clearly love the boys.
That's the thing too. I mean, I would hope that sometimes that could be a wake-up call for, the woman, or if it happens to the man, to the man. But typically we see this happen to the woman.
Yeah.
No judgies, but judgies men. Get it together.
100% judgies. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they even consider that moment where it's like, do I just, surrender to this the rest of my life? Or do I put my foot down and be like, you know what? Fuck you. This isn't a thing anymore.
Well, so I didn't fact check this, but of course I went to the comments, and one person had said that like they ended up getting divorced like not too long after, and she is now a single mom.
Well, probably better off if that's true.
Yeah. I don't understand how like if that really truly is like your person, your partner, soulmate, that it wouldn't be instinctual to run to them.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like shit if I was on the receiving end of being neglected like that. Of
I would
course.
be humiliated.
Yeah.
And just so like butthurt.
I mean, everyone else is supporting cast. You should be going to the other person that's involved in this celebration with you.
Yeah, and then the boys can circle around the parents, the duo that created the child.
Yeah. Speaking of parents, there was one that I think it was a gender reveal, and the mom was chasing the son and trying to get him away from his wife. She was trying to get in between them and have her moment with the son. And that's another thing that's icky too, is like helicopter parents, where it's like, chill out.
Or what's also icky are like those like mother-son relationships that are like a little bit too close.
They have a whole show about that on TLC.
Oh, I don't watch TLC, but
Neither do I, but I know that they have shows like that, and that is one of them.
It's like, where it's like a little too...
It's creepy.
It's creepy, and it's gross. And
Yeah.
it's like, when you find like a wife, like your wife should now be the most important woman in your life. Like, I'm not saying, it's a competition between the mom and the wife.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But, but like, I don't know. It's just really creepy when the guy is not supporting his wife and choosing like the mom.
Yeah.
I think it's gross.
I would say it mostly is the mom's fault, because you're being so impressionable on your son at a young age, where it's like, you have to always be by my side, you're mine, I'm yours. As they get older, it's up to the adult son to be like, I need to like step away from you because you're smothering the fuck out of me.
Let Birdie fly.
And it's just ultimately gross when they're both invested into it, and then it's so scummy to pull in a third person to this little party that y'all got going on. It's it's icky.
It's giving Norman and Norma Bates.
Is that like an old people reference?
Good gravy. Have you seen Psycho?
I think maybe.
But there's also a show, I don't know on what streaming service, Bates Motel, and it's a mom and a son, and they're a little bit too close, and it's kind of, it toes the line of not incest, but like, that's
the intention of the show, whatever it is.
Yeah, like, and that's just Norman and Norma Bates. The
name sounds familiar. I just cannot think
it's a classic.
Okay.
But that's what it gives me.
Yeah, same.
Ditto.
Picking up what you put down.
An ick is not picking up a classic movie reference.
Shut up. Let's see. Okay, I guess this one kind of goes into not completely what we were just talking about, but essentially PDA. Couples being way too much in public. So I can think about way back whenever I worked at a Panda Express, and there was this one edgy couple that came in, and I was trying to take people's orders, and I get to them and I look up, and they're just like, she's giggling, he's caressing her hair, and they're just on top of each other. First of all, disgusting. At Panda Express. Right. Say that shit for Cheesecake Factory. Like, why are you doing that here? But like, they just kept going. Then I'm like, hi, can I take your order? And they're like not paying attention to me, and then started making out. Ew. And I moved on to the next people. I was like, can I take care of you? She's like, oh, are they not going? They're busy. They are clearly busy. That just in general, seeing people, of course, love your partner. That's your person. Right. There's a time and place. Exactly. Time and place. And the time and place is not right now at Panda Express in the checkout line. Not in public. Don't do it. And it's weird to me, the people that do that. I think it's the same people that like don't put away their grocery cart, or like just don't have like that social awareness. Yeah. I don't like it. And now some people could try to come at me and be like, oh, well, you've never been in a relationship, so you don't get it. But you and Vic aren't like that. We're not like that. There's plenty of people that are in relationships that don't do that. Yeah. And like, I actually like will enjoy like the cute little PDA. Like you see like an older couple and they're holding hands and they do like a little smooch. Like, yes, we love that. Yeah, right. But if you have like whatever age you are, it does not matter.
and you have your tongues down each other's throat and you're groping at each other. Like, that's, no one wants to see that.
It's weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
No one cares. It's not cute. You look fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, in the heat of the moment, like, all of a sudden, you need that person. Find a car. Find a room. Find a bathroom.
Anywhere that is not within the viewing displeasure of anyone else. Literally.
The viewing displeasure. I do like that. I guess, like, relationship-wise, my ick is, like, cheating on a partner. Just, like, freely, like, cheating on a partner. And it doesn't matter, like, if you feel bad about it or not. Like, if you were comfortable with it or not. If you were comfortable cheating on your partner, that's the biggest ick.
Yeah.
But then if you cheated on them and then you feel bad about it later, like, it's still an ick. Like, why did you do it in the first place?
Oh, yeah.
Just break up with that person. If you... and then I can't even try to understand, like, the mentality. I was trying to understand the other side. Like, when you just are just, like, so horny that, like, you need someone else, or, like, maybe
and if that's the case, maybe have a conversation with your partner about being poly, because that's becoming more of a thing. That's not me sitting here, like, defending cheating.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, as an alternative for someone that really feels that strongly about needing another person around them in that way, then, you know, maybe be mature enough to have a discussion with your partner about what y'all's expectations are. And if they don't meet, then don't be together, because that's not fair to the person that you're doing it to.
Yeah.
And yes, it's just icky. And I've, not that long ago, was thinking, I think about this actually a lot. Who knows why, I don't know. But yeah, the mentality of it. What
compels?
Yeah.
So I was trying to understand it. So I was, like, going down rabbit holes of, like, why do people cheat? And I think there's different reasons why women cheat versus why men cheat. Men, or I can't remember, you know, who did it for what, but there's a certain aspect of, there's a thrill of having something that you can't have. So that was, like, one reason for it. So for them, like, it doesn't make it different. Like, it wouldn't be the same if they broke up with their person and then tried to have sex with that same person that they were chasing, because now they are available. It needs to be unavailable, which, I don't get that mentality. And then what was the other reason? I think that was, like, the main one, is, like, having something that you can't have.
Which, on paper, I can understand. When it comes down to morality, that's where the lines aren't even blurred. You're crossing the line.
Yeah.
Like,
if it hurts the other person, then judgies. And do you not love that person enough to where you can't control that urge that would hurt them?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. Or I guess on the flip side of that is, like, the people that assist with the cheating. So, like, let's say, like, a man is married, and then you still
keep their secret, or
you have sex with them, or, like, you, like, have an affair with them, knowing that they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
You are equally as shitty.
Yeah.
You may not be in a relationship, but you're
enabling them.
home wrecking it.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not going to say names. There are two people I can think of that I went to high school with that were notorious cheaters. That became their reputation.
Really?
People still continue to give them the time of day, which is so weird. There was this one individual, she cheated on, like, literally, actively. She was in a relationship, she would cheat on them. And then she'd end up being with that next person. And they knew about it. Yeah, it was like a ripple effect. The person knew that was what they did, and that's why they're with them. But now all of a sudden...
And then she does the same thing to them.
It's just nonstop. And I will say, with age, she's gotten better. But yeah. And because it's kind of weird. I think some people... It's... Something psychologically is... Yeah, they love the thrill. They need it. But it's like, why is that your vice? And
go fucking skydiving. Get your thrills at Six Flags.
Paper cut yourself and put some lemon juice in there. Anything.
Go on a diet and then get yourself some cake.
Yeah.
You know, like, find another avenue to get that thrill of getting something that you can't have.
And there was the other person that cheated. She, I'm not trying to, they were both women that were cheaters. See, not men and women are both bad.
I was gonna say, I mean, for cheating,
that.
like, it's both parties are like equally as bad.
And what's crazy is that she was with this one guy for years, and she cheated like constantly with him, and he knew about it, and he stayed with her.
That's the other thing that I don't get. Why do you stay with someone when you know that they're cheating on you? Have you no self-respect?
And the thing is, too, once you give a cheater, like, permission. A second chance, that is giving them permission.
Yeah.
Giving them a second chance is giving them permission, because you're letting them know, I'm not mad at you for cheating when you had zero reason to begin with. Mm-hmm. But now it's like you're giving them the green light that clearly they can get away with it.
Right. If they could get away with it once, they will be able to get away with it time and time again.
Yeah. So, I mean, those types of people are definitely at fault. But being a cheater, you're just a piece of shit. Yeah. And I kind of feel like once a cheater, always a cheater. It seems to be repeat offenders, honestly.
I 100% believe that. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Because, like, if you could do it once, then you could do it again. And, like, you have that thing in you.
Yeah.
To...
And it's not, I think, at that point, because they'll maybe try to make the argument, it's just I'm not finding the right person. I don't think it's that. I think you're just not a good person.
Yeah.
Like, look within yourself.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you are doing something that is, I would say, widely accepted as a horrible thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And what are your thoughts if, let's say, okay, the two people are in their own separate relationships, people get, like, blackout drunk, and then they end up having sex while blackout drunk?
I thought you were just going to say, like, make out, and I would have defended that. But sex?
Yeah, but you're blacked out.
I know.
And it's like, okay, is that cheating? Like...
I'm going to say yeah. Because why did you allow yourself... Essentially, there's always a point within any timeline that could be boiled down to a lack of responsibility. Mm-hmm. You allowed yourself to get so drunk that you no longer were able to, like, make sense of who you're doing what with.
Yeah.
And so in a way, yeah, you're cheating. Like, of course that's within a gray area, but I would say yes, that's still cheating, because it's like, okay, if you didn't get belligerently drunk, you, I would hope, still not have hooked up with whoever you hooked up with.
Like, were there subconscious, like, feelings or even, like, conscious feelings for that other person prior to?
And, that's a little tricky, too, because I would kind of argue the idea that the things that you do when you're drunk, in any level of that drunkenness, I kind of feel it's not necessarily repressed subconscious things, but I feel like your subconscious now becomes you whenever you get so inebriated that, like, you can't think about what's going on. That
you just act on instinct.
So it's like, I would argue the idea that's like, maybe they probably did have some type of feeling for that person, and their subconscious was able to come to the forefront of it.
The devil inside was like, we are going to act on this, sister. Yeah. It's like, my time to shine. How many lives can we ruin tonight?
We're about to save so many horses. We're riding all those calories. All of them. Yeah. Yeah. That could be a whole other thing too. Talking about cheating. Ugh.
I do want to, like, take a deeper dive into cheating and as to, like, why men, women cheat and the psychology behind it. I just very, like, surface level skim to try and grasp and
I mean, there's so much to
understanding.
It.
Yeah.
Okay. This next one that I have, how many more do you have?
Just 2.
Okay. This one I think we might have touched base on a little bit, not specifically, but in general. This one, I feel like the way I'm going to say it is going to sound shitty, at least one of the examples I was going to have. In general, what I was going to say was like beggars on the streets, and people can interpret that as like, because initially I was thinking like homeless people, but I don't mean that in a bad way, because I will say, and I feel like a lot of people will agree with me, nowadays it's hard to tell who the hell is homeless, and I would say like 80% of the homeless people aren't even actually homeless. So like that's just, I mean, especially as you get closer to the city, you can't go to an intersection without someone sitting there with, you know, their piece of cardboard asking for things. But I was, as I was typing this, I was like, well, I don't want to sound like a dick. So then I was
So you're defending yourself before you even get to the point?
Well, I was able to think of something more specific, because like I've even had it happen here in the Loop before, but whenever I visited New York, people that push product. So on the train, you know, there's these people that do performances, or they'll have art and they try to give it to you. I remember I was like walking through or to Times Square, doesn't really matter, and similar instance that happened here in the Loop years ago. You know, they're selling like a CD, something like that. Yeah. And they hand it to you as if it's like a freebie or some bullshit, and then they want to get mad that you don't give them like a donation, or it's just annoying. Get out of my face. Go do something better with your life. And maybe make better products, because like this looks like shit. Toss it.
No, see, like that doesn't really bother me. It's just, you know, people trying.
So you're a product pusher. You're one of those.
I'm gonna get like fortuitous merchandise and go and like push it on people out on the streets. Just whoever will take our stuff, listen to our podcast. No, I mean, I think it's, you know, just people trying to get their name out there, trying to make a buck, and instead of begging for it, they're actually putting an effort to try and sell something.
You feel like no matter what the circumstances, like that's not annoying?
Oh, sure. Like it will get annoying, especially like if they're very persistent with it. Like we just say, oh, no, thank you, but then they keep coming at you. Yeah. Or they cut you off from
walking.
That's
a threshold where I get the ick, where it's like, yes, what you're saying is true. It's like, you know, you're only going to be able to make it as far as you allow yourself to. So you do have to put, you know, your foot forward and push your product. But it gets to the point where it's like, no means no, no matter what. And if I'm clearly not interested and you're shoving this in my face and I don't want it, leave me alone. That's it, actually. Leave me alone.
Period.
Because, you know, then I've seen videos of people like setting down whatever they end up trying to hand them, and they get pissed off and they try to fight them. And it's like, who are you to get all riled up
when you try to push it on someone else? Yeah. I think it's like, sounds like it's very like specific.
A little bit.
Yeah. Whereas like in general, no, like for me, it's not like an ick. I don't find it cringy. No judgies. Is it annoying? Sure. But like, you know, you go to like Mexico or big cities, like that's just part of it. You know, you're just going to be walking through, especially New York. People are going to just try and sell things, and you just, no, thank you, keep going. And
but I feel like if you're in an environment where that's the thing, and I feel like most of the people probably would understand that you're going to have a lot of individuals that are just going to brush you off. You're going to have to be okay with that, though. Yeah. That's the thing.
And then, yeah, and that's where I'm saying, like, yours was, like, very specific, because I've not come across someone who's been, like, so pushy. I think just one in California that, like...
This happens every weekend to me.
Well, I think people just think that you're really vulnerable, James. They think that
there's a deeper, you know, issue going on here.
They think that you'll buy
like that kid. He's a sap.
Yeah, he's a sucker.
Can see the green coming out of the pockets. I'm like, please, what green? I broke as a joke. Well, because in New York, on the train, people perform in there, and I'm trying to remember specifically what the guy said. No one prompted him to have this be said, but I'm sure people have been pissed off enough with him to where he said this. I think he was like selling a person, not like prostitution, but like the person was dancing and hooting and hollering and shit, and then the guy was coming around being like, oh, you know, take this. And eventually he made some comment about like, oh, if you guys have a problem with this, if this bothers you, then, you know, he was pretty much just like, make more money so you can afford an Uber or buy a car. That's what he pretty much said. And I was like, fuck you. Like, shut up. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I like that we were divided on that, though. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a
difference of opinions.
Yeah. Because we've been pretty much on the same side this whole time, so.
Mm-hmm. Ghosting is another one of mine.
In general, or do you mean anything specific within ghosting?
I guess, like, in general, I think, like, there's some circumstances where I can kind of understand, like, if you were actually, like, in fear of your life,
yeah,
then ghosting, yes, 100%. The ghosting that I think is icky is when you've had that back and forth conversation, one person has figured out or decided that, like, no, they're not for me, and instead of just telling that person, hey, I'm not feeling it or it's not working, then they just stop all contact.
Yeah.
That is so fucking rude and inconsiderate. Grow a goddamn spine and just tell the person.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? Take it even a step further. If you really want to be nice, and say, like, why? Like, you were too clingy. You were, like, give them, like, something, because otherwise they're never going to know, and they're going to keep doing the same thing to everyone else.
Yeah. Yes. You made me feel so many different feelings throughout saying that. Really,
all the feels. Where do I start?
Whisk me away with emotion. Because, yes, I agree with that sentiment, but I will also say I have been that person.
To ghost?
Yes. I will say I have been on the ghosted side more often than I've ghosted. I think I've become someone that has ghosted. It's been a hot minute since I've even bothered entertaining dating apps and anything like that.
Yeah.
Where I'm actually, that would even be a possibility.
The opportunity to ghost, yeah.
But I would say as time went on, because it just happened so much, I was like, well, fuck, I'll do the same shit, you know? And can you also sit there and honestly say that you've never done that before?
No, I have, and I was a shitty person, you know, back then.
Okay.
You know, and that's what, you know, you can have done it and then not realize that it was really shitty and then, like, change and become better. I mean, that's the whole point.
Right, and that definitely just shows your maturity level as well, and, you know, I think that's why that people with that mentality, I think, end up being with really great people and have a great connection, like you and Vic, such a beautiful couple.
Thank you. We are.
And she said, of course.
Yeah.
The other point that you said was essentially getting an explanation. That I'm a little torn on. So I will say this. There has been a time before where I tried to ask someone for an explanation. They never gave it to me. And then I talked to a couple people about it, and they essentially were like, well, you don't really deserve one. Not to be mean, but it was more so. And initially, whenever that happened, I was like, fuck you. But then as time kind of went on, the way I would interpret that is like, yes, in a way, I don't deserve one. Of course, it would be nice to, like, let that person know. That other part that you said, wholeheartedly agree with. But in a way, I think it depends on how long you've been talking.
Right.
If you have only been talking for, like, less than a month, I don't know if maybe that's too far for people, but I would say, like, less than a month, you don't really owe them anything. You don't really know them.
No, you don't owe the person that. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you really wanted to get extra karma points, or, like, if you, like, I don't know, like, for me, maybe I am just, like, too nice sometimes. And it would depend on the person. Like, they were really a nice person, I just didn't feel that connection, then I would feel like I owed them an explanation. If they're just a shitty person, I would probably just tell them that you're shitty, you're mean, you're rude, or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not saying everyone necessarily warrants an explanation or deserves an explanation.
I would say it's very circumstantial.
Very circumstantial. Like, it was just, like, a general, like, ghosting is, like, for me, I hate it. It's happened to me, I hate it. I have done it. And, like, today where, like, there's all the dating apps and, like, you usually start a relationship via texting, and then, like, I think people are just too comfortable with just, like, being dicks and just not responding.
Yeah. Yes. And, I mean, well, you guys talked about, like, bad dates. I guess you didn't really... Did you dive much into the dating app world, or did you just talk about bad dates? Didn't you have an episode like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Breezy, disastrous dates.
Okay. Because that could be a whole thing too, talking about like the dating scene, like the way apps go. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, yeah, it's such a desensitizing experience nowadays, I think. Yeah. And I mean, that's why I haven't, and I mean, there's so many other factors that go into it, but like a big part is the idea that it's very, not robotic, but just so void of a connection. Where, you know, that's the one thing that I do envy of like past generations is that they did go out.
You had to meet in person.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're forced to go meet in person. Now we can all hide behind screens, and as soon as we get bored of you, we can block you or just ghost.
Right, you don't treat people like humans.
Yeah.
And that's, I hate it. All right, last one, unless you have any more, because my phone battery is at 10%.
Oh, gosh.
I know. I'm losing the video.
Okay, So, one that I just really need to get out, and then one for funsies. People at red lights who will slowly creep their way into the intersection.
They just keep going forward.
Yeah, that icks the fuck out of me, specifically when everyone around saw that light just turned red. Why the hell are you so eager, McBeaver, to get to where you're going? I'm just so confused. And it's typically the same archetype that you see. It's like, you know, this rough and tough, rootin' tootin' guy in his truck. And he's like, you know, inching his way out. And he's just like, and then what's crazy too, the light will go green and there's a delayed reaction for them to go. It's like, I thought you were ready. What's happening?
Well, my only defense for that one is... So when we were kids, my dad and us would play this game as we would never stop the car. So my dad would be driving, and if the light had turned red, then he would like slow down and still keep the car going.
That's different. You're playing a game.
Yes.
These people are not. They're being so serious about it.
The little inch forwarders.
You're like, well, it's not always like that.
They're just always playing games with themselves.
You know what? Maybe I could challenge myself to look at it from a different perspective. But they're just playing the no-stop game.
Yeah, that's it. They're just having fun. Life is short.
Back to that blissful ignorance.
Yeah.
And then I guess the only one that I really want to throw in here is people, specifically men, that have their bare feet in Birkenstocks. That shit pisses me off. That is, I get that, like, that's how you wear Birkenstocks.
I was gonna say, that's how you're supposed to wear them.
I know. But something about it is just inherently cringy and icky. And it's just weird to me.
That's a just you thing.
Fuck you.
Because that's how you're supposed to wear the shoes. I don't see an issue with it. It's like wearing, like, sandals, barefooted.
Maybe I just don't like open-toed shoes.
Maybe you just have like an anti-foot fetish.
I was really hoping we could end off strong.
All right, I do have one, catfishing.
Okay.
It's fucking rude. Why do people do that? I understand that you are like, okay, if you've put on weight, you're a little self-conscious, you don't think anyone is going to swipe right on you because you are heavier. What do you fucking think they're gonna do when they swipe on your thinner picture, younger picture, whatever it is, and then you meet in person? That person's gonna be so fucking mad.
Yeah.
And then you just started off the whole thing on a lie. You may have the greatest personality ever, which, spoiler alert, you don't if you're lying from the get-go.
Right.
But you could be like a great person, but starting it off on that foot, it's just so rude. It's inconsiderate and it's dishonest. Like, just be upfront and just own however you are.
Yeah. This is a long shot. Have you ever seen the show Catfished?
No, I've heard of it. I've not watched it, but I have been catfished myself, and I was just so irate. I was just so mad about it. Because he was like a fine guy, and then when he came to my house, also in the Disaster State episode, if you want the full story, it was a whole different person. Didn't look anything like the pictures, and immediately I couldn't get past anything else. I was like, you are not who you said you are.
Yeah.
We are done. Leave.
And heavy on the point that you made of, what do you think is going to happen when you meet them?
Right. Or like, do you not send sexy pictures prior to, or like, or any type of pictures? Very smart on the dudes that came up with, hey, let's talk on Snapchat and send me pictures.
Yeah.
Genius. Vic did it to me.
Gotcha.
So Vic knew the game. But yeah, I mean, catfishing, just no. All right. Do you have a weekly wow? I didn't even think to ask you beforehand.
I did. Yeah. On my way here, I was thinking about it, and so my weekly wow it's I guess another ask of people, because that's what I did last time.
Mm-hmm.
But so my grandmas, they're both alive. My grandpas are not here anymore, and my grandmas are both kind of, they're older. They're starting to have like health problems and all that, as one does. So I've tried to make more of a conscious effort to like reach out to them and go see them. They both live very close to this area, and so I try to go see them like every other week, because like their time's limited.
Yes.
Kind of it's a weird way to say it. It's weird to say it like that, but their time is limited.
Yeah.
But also, to piggyback, but just in general though, it's like, as I've gotten older, I've become more disconnected from my family. And because when I was younger, we would always get together at one of my grandma's house, like all my aunts and uncles and my cousins and extended family.
Yeah.
We'd all get together. And a few weeks ago, actually, one of my cousins that I had a really good relationship with whenever I was younger, he just randomly hit me up. We haven't talked in years or even seen each other. He lives like halfway across the country now. And we ended up talking for like 4 hours.
Oh, wow. Nice.
It just started off from an initial question that he had.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of, went into everything. Talked about family, our careers, just how things are going. And now we were even discussing like me making a trip out to go see him. So it's like, I don't know.
Make effort for your family. Reconnect with, see your grandparents. Their time is limited. Why not reach out to your cousins? And
like one person this month, challenge yourself to go see. And then like one person.
I say like a person a week. Reach out at least.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to just at least say like, hi, how you doing? It
Right.
doesn't have to be anything in depth, because everyone's time is limited.
Yeah.
And, that's your family. And of course, there's circumstances where it's like you cut family out of your life.
Right. But if you are close to that family, just prioritize those relationships.
Yeah. You never know. You popping in saying, hey, could have made a world of difference for them for that day, week, month, year. You never know.
100%. And you never know if that day was their last day.
Yeah.
To go down the morbid route here.
Shit. Well, that's all, folks.
On that note, goodbye. You never know if it's the last day.